This is your lesson on multiplying fractions. We have some steps that we're going to follow. Step 1 is to change the mixed numbers to improper fractions. Step 2 is to cross-simplify if you can. Step 3 is to multiply the numerators. Step 4, multiply the denominators. And step 5 is to simplify if you can. So of course we're going to do some examples. Here's our first one. We don't have any mixed numbers, so we can just start multiplying or cross-simplifying. When you cross-simplify, you're going to look at the numbers that are diagonal, and you're going to say, is there anything that can go into both of these numbers to make them smaller? So, what number can go into 3 and 3? Well, 3 can, so you're going to do 3 divided by 3, which equals 1. Okay, so that cancels out and you have 1. And 3 divided by 3 here, again, is 1. So that cancels out and there's just 1 there. So your new fraction, if you want to rewrite it out, is 1 over 1 times 1 over 8 after you have cross-simplified. Now you're finished cross-simplifying and you're going to multiply your numerators. 1 times 1 is 1. 8 times 1 is 8. Your answer here is 1/8. Okay, let's go to the next one. We have 12 times 3/4. Okay, whenever you want to make a whole number a fraction, you are going to put it over 1. That is for all whole numbers. If you want to make a whole number a fraction, you're going to put it over 1. Now, we don't have any mixed numbers, so we're going to start cross-simplifying. Okay, 3 and 1, you cannot simplify. But if you look at the next diagonal, 12 and 4, what number can go into both 12 and 4? Well, 4 can. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 12 divided by 4 is 3. So, if you want to rewrite the fraction out again, you have 3 over 1. Sorry about that, times 3 over 1 again because the 4 canceled out. So now we're going to multiply straight across. 3 times 3 is 9. 1 times 1 is 1. However, we have to simplify. 9 over 1, you don't want to leave it like that. Okay, anything over 1 is just going to be the whole number, so we have 9. We changed the 12 over 1 in the problem because you needed to have a denominator. But in your answer, you would just leave it as the whole number without the 1 over it. Next problem, we have 2/3 times 9/12. So let's look at our diagonals again. You can start on whichever diagonal you want. I just always start with this one. That's just me. Okay, what number can go into 3 and 9? Well, 3 can. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. 9 divided by 3 is 3. Okay, look at the next diagonal. 2 and 12. What number can go into 2 and 12? 2 can. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 12 divided by 2 is 6. I'm not going to rewrite this one out just because sometimes or as you go, you're not always going to rewrite it out, okay? So the numerators, we have 1 times 3, which is 3, and 6 times 1, which is 6. 3/6 can be simplified. So 3/6, the simplified, both numbers can be divided by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 6 divided by 3 is 2. So the answer for this problem is 1/2. Notice we have not had any mixed numbers. Okay. What are we going to do with this 16 first? We have to make it a fraction, right? Okay. So we're going to put it over 1. Now that I've done that, try this one on your own. Pause the video and then check your work. Okay. So can anything cross simplify? Yes, it can. The 4 and the 16 can. What number goes into 4 and 16? 4 does. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 16 divided by 4 is 4. So now you're going to multiply the numerators. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 1 is 1. Are we going to leave it 4 over 1? No, we are not. Our final answer is going to be 4. Okay. It's our first one with a mixed number. We're going to keep the 2/5 as it is. Okay. Times, we're going to change this mixed number to an improper fraction. If you remember how to do that, you're going to multiply the denominator times the whole number, then add in the numerator. So for this one, it's 3 times 1, which is 3, plus 2 is 5. It's the new numerator. And you're going to keep whatever the denominator is in the fraction. So we have 5/3. Now we are going to cross simplify. We have 2 5s. So 5 can go into both of those. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 5 divided by 5 is 1. Now we're going to multiply the numerators. 2 times 1 is 2. 1 times 3 is 3. The answer is 2/3. Okay, so let's do another one. We have two mixed numbers now. Let's change them to improper fractions. 4 times 5 is 20, plus 1 is 21 over 5, because the denominator stays the same. Times 7 times 2 is 14, plus 1 is 15 over 7. Keep the denominator. Now we're going to cross simplify. We have 5 and 15. What number can go into 5 and 15? 5 can. So 5 divided by 5 is 1. 15 divided by 5 is 3. Then we have 21 and 7. What number can go into 21 and 7? 7 can. 21 divided by 7 is 3. 7 divided by 7 is 1. Okay, so now we're going to multiply our numerators. 3 times 3 is 9. 1 times 1 is 1. Do we leave it like this? No, we do not. Our final answer is just going to be 9. Remember to always box your answer. Okay, you guys try this one on your own. You can pause the video and then check it in just a few minutes. Okay. So if you checked it after you worked it out, you should have multiplied 6 times 3, which is 18, plus 2 is 20, over, keep the denominator, 3. Sorry about that, guys. Times 4 times 5 is 20, plus 2 is 22, over 5. Can anything simplify? Yes. 20 and 5 can, so 5 divided by 5 is 1. 20 divided by 5 is 4. Okay, can 3 and 22 be simplified? No, they cannot, so we're just going to leave it. 4 times 22 is 88 over 3. What is this? This is an improper fraction, so you are going to divide it out to get your mixed number. 88 divided by 3, because top dog goes in the house. 3 goes into 8 2 times. 3 times 2 is 6. 8 minus 6 is 2. Bring down the 8. 3 goes into 28 9 times. You get 27. Now we have 1. Where does the 1 go? It becomes the numerator. And our denominator is the number on the outside of the house. So our final answer for this problem is 29 and 1/3. You always, always, always want to simplify your improper fractions to a mixed number. Okay, here's the last one. Try this one on your own. Pause the video and check it. Okay, so the first thing you should have done is put 5 over 1. Then we want to change the mixed number to an improper fraction. So we have 5 over 1 times 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7 over 3. Can anything cross simplify? No, it cannot. Remember, you always want to do numerator to denominator when you're simplifying. So we're just going to multiply straight across. 5 times 7 is 35. 3 times 1 is 3. What is this? An improper fraction. So we are going to divide 35 divided by 3 to get our mixed number. 3 goes into 3 one time. 3 minus 3 is 0. 3 goes into 5 one time. 5 minus 3 is 2. That becomes the numerator. Your final answer should be 11 2/3. Whenever you are multiplying fractions, remember, change mixed numbers to improper fractions, and to make a whole number a fraction, you're going to put it over 1. Okay? Now, let me pause. Well, now we're going to jump to the fraction action paper that you got. Okay? Okay, here's the fraction actions paper. What you're going to do for these is we are going to write the fractions out with the answers. Okay, it's very, very, very important that you copy exactly what I do. We're going to do the first 3 together, then you're going to do the next 3 on your own, then we're going to check them, and the last 3 in the back of this paper is your homework. Okay, so whenever you see a problem like this, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to number the columns. So you have 1, 2 columns. Looking at just the columns, okay, since there are 2 columns, that's going to be your denominator in the fraction, okay, because that's how many total there are. Then out of those 2 columns, you're going to look and see how many of those are shaded. Out of these 2 columns, only one of them is lined, okay? So 1 out of the 2 are lined. Then you're going to look at the rows. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. So remember, that's the denominator. Out of those 4 rows, only one of those rows is dotted. Okay? So only 1 out of the rows are dotted. Now, how many rectangles do we have in this problem now? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rectangles. Out of those 8 rectangles, only one of them has the shaded dots and lines. So 1/2 times 1/4 equals 1/8 for this problem. Okay, so let's look at the next one. We're going to number our columns. 1, 2, 3, 4. So our first denominator is 4. Out of those 4, how many are striped? 1, 2, 3 are striped. Okay, let's jump to the rows now. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. So that's our denominator. And how many are dotted? 1, 2, 3 are dotted. Okay, so there are 16 little squares, and only 9 of them are dotted and striped. Okay, so let's do one more together so we can make sure that we don't have any questions. What's the first thing we're going to do? Number the columns. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 columns. Okay, out of those 8 columns, 1, 2, 3 are shaded. Now let's look at the rows. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. So that's our denominator. And how many of those rows are shaded? Only 1 are shaded. So there are 32 individual squares, and only 3 of them are shaded and dotted. Okay, So you guys try the next 3 on your own. Pause the video. Before you start the video, okay, check with your partner on one of the problems and then check the whole video with me. Okay, so pause the video and then restart it whenever you are all done. Okay, so for this first one, you should have numbered 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the first denominator. There's 1, 2, 3 that are striped. Then 1, 2, 3, 4 rows, and only one of them are striped. So your final answer should be 3/16. Okay. Next one, you have 1, 2 columns, so that's your denominator, and only one of those are shaded. The second on your rows, you should have 1, 2, 3, 4 denominators. Sorry, 4 as the denominator for 4 rows, and 1, 2, 3 are shaded. So your final answer should be 3/8. And last one, 1, 2, 3, 4 columns, so that's your denominator, and 1, 2, 3, 4 rows, so that's the second denominator. Back on your columns, there's 1 column shaded, so that's 1, and on your rows, there's only 1 dotted, so that is 1. Your final answer would be 1/16. Okay? If you don't have any questions, these last 3 are for homework along with the back of this page. Okay? If you have any questions, you can get on School Web and watch the video on your own. If you finish your homework, you'll get on School Web and do the Class Zone Chapter 5 Multiplying Fractions and Mixed Numbers under the Activities tab.